Do you think that what do you think will be the biggest defining features of 26? Because 25, I think, has been reflective of the Russians being incredibly caught out by the Ukrainians' innovative strategies towards attacking further in. It's brought much more the war closer to home, and the idea of Russia being protected by Putin is much more of an illusion. But it's also demonstrated the Russians' capacity to develop their own industry and capacity to respond.
Okay, I think the biggest difference next year will be this pretty picture of Russia doing well will end. They are happening right now, Pyotr. Can you guess which federal employees are not getting paid now?
A very senior federal level.
Close. Judges.
Wow.
They stopped paying judges. They will not complain to anyone. They will not go sue. So that is just the beginning. And we're going to be seeing so much of that in 2026 because simply there's no money. We're going to be seeing galloping inflation because they're just printing money like crazy every single week for the past few weeks. They've printed every week. Think about that. From 1 to 1.5% of entire GDP of Russia. They print around 3 trillion rubles every single week to cover the budget deficit. The effects of that will be seen in from 4 to 6 months. Towards late spring, early summer, holy moly, the price is going to go up. The inflation is just going to be hitting. Now, they're going to devalue ruble because they have 2 tools left. First is to print money, the printing press, which is already hot. And then the second is to devalue Russian currency. So whatever they still getting exporting fossil fuels, it's going to be more in rubles. Now, well, we're going to see a great devaluation of Russian ruble. And that's going to make people's lives miserable. Absolutely miserable. And that is the biggest thing that we're going to see in 2026. And of course, there will be intensifying political fights. I think right now we're seeing bulldogs fighting under the carpet, and we're not seeing much of it in the public. We will see that in the public. They will take it to the public eye. They will openly fight next year. I think that's 2 biggest trends to look towards in 2026.
I was on mute. No, we have seen rumblings of that, haven't we? We have seen indications of this growing discontent amongst the polity, the inner circles, whatever, the political establishment within Moscow. But one of the things I'm also interested in, of course, is the public sentiment, because a lot of Russians are used to dealing with hardship. It's one of the main things that is always emphasized, that Russia will not crack, it will not succumb to external pressures easily. But when it's internally and the inadequacies are growing, you've got a deepening sense of normalcy not being there. Do you think we will reach a tipping point next year? Not in some grandiose way that suddenly there's revolts and sort of widespread rebellion across the country, but do you think that Russian people will be more genuinely getting tired of the war and pressuring the government to accept more of these peace deal offerings from the other side of the table?
They will definitely be more fatigued, much more, but there will be no tipping point. I don't even understand what the tipping point is. Everyone gets so tired of the war, they just take it on the streets and start protesting. That's not going to happen. No, but there will be more and more of, you say, rumblings. Oh yeah, that's for sure. There will be more and more discontent here and there. In general, the situation is going to be much more. You see, if you get to Russia right now, the first impression you get, and that comes from people who haven't been to Russia for quite some time, for years. The first thing they understand is the tension in the air. The stress looks in people's eyes. You know, Russia, entire country, you can feel stress in the air. There's going to be much more of that. And then don't forget, there's a huge factor. More and more, I can't even call them veterans. I don't know who they are. Call them whatever you want. Those people who fight in Ukraine, who sold their souls for money to the devil. to take up arms in exchange for, sum of money and go fight in Ukraine. So they're going to be coming back more and more. And the Russians don't like them. They're very, very afraid of those people because each one of them comes back with PTSD and unpredictable, very violent, and they commit so many crimes. They murder, they rape. That's going to contribute a lot. So there will be a lot of tension. I would say tension, very serious tension in Russia in 2026. I think that's the word. That's going to be the word of the year. Stress and tension.